The main card that the community wanted in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms was Elminster, the infamous and immortal Sage of Shadowdale. We were quite happy to get him not only as a planeswalker, but one that could be played as your commander. Today we continue our series of deck techs built around the new legendary creatures from Commander Legends 2, Battle for Baldur's Gate. Some of the videos will be budget lists, like today's video. I don't want to be tied to only making budget deck lists because I know that some of you could afford to drop $500 on a new Commander deck, while others cannot. If you want to be notified when those new Commander videos post, be sure to click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all new videos coming out. With that out of the way, let's take a look at Elminster. Elminster is a 5-mana planeswalker with 5 loyalty. His static ability makes it so that our instants and sorceries we cast are cheaper after we scry. If we add 2 loyalty, we draw a card and then scry 2. If we remove 3 loyalty, we exile the top card of our library, then create a number of blue 1/1 fairy dragon tokens with flying equal to the mana value of the exiled card. So what does this mean for our deck, and what is Elminster capable of? First of all, the more we scry, the cheaper our next spell is. We could add a bunch of scry effects and then take turns for cheap, but I doubt we could build a good turns deck on a $100 budget. So instead, I decided to go a different route. But before we get into the deck list, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. I decided it would be fun to have a bunch of instant speed scry effects, so I know that when I downtick Elminster, I make 9, 10, or even 12 fairy dragons. So we want a ton of scry effects in the deck, but we also want a lot of high mana spells that we want to exile in order to make a flight of fairy dragons. For our scry effects, we have Omen of the Sea, Scour All Possibilities, Diviner's Portent, Jace Mirror Mage, Rumor Gatherer, Behold the Universe, Contact Other Plane, Foresee, Glimmer of Genius, Tamios Epiphany, Precognitive Perception, Unexplained Vision, and Interpret the Signs. We're also running a Brainstorm to put big cards back onto our library. Reconnaissance Mission goes very well with what our deck is trying to do, and Idyllic Tutor to find win cons. Our high mana value spells that we would rather exile with Elminster, but could cast for reduced mana value with his static ability, consist of Aminatu's Augury, Dig Through Time, Chant of the Vutugazi, Dictomancy, Triumphant Reckoning, Mnemonic Deluge, Denying Wind, Blessed Wind, Storm Herd, Soul Scour, Organic Extinction, Scion of Draco, and Icebreaker Kraken. You'll notice that most of them are instants or sorceries, but our goal isn't to cast these spells. Again, the goal of the deck is to exile them with Elminster and make a bunch of fairy dragons. To help turn our wee little fairy dragons into a threat, we're running Force of Virtue, Radiant Destiny, Favorable Winds, and Intangible Virtue. Not a ton of anthems, but I did want to leave room for a few. Additionally, we have an Oath of Teferi, so we can activate Elminster twice in a single turn. Our counter magic package consists of Negate, Counterspell, Arcane Denial, Wash Away, and Commit Memory, which also serves as our first piece of graveyard hate. For spot removal, we have Disenchant, Generous Gift, Raven Form, and Imprison in the Moon. For some light stacks, we have Authority of the Consuls and Rest in Peace, our second piece of graveyard hate. Our board wipes consist of Time Wipe, Consuming Tide, and Washout, which is a hilarious magic card, and I should start running it more often. For cost reduction on our spells, we've got Jace's Sanctum, Arcane Melee, and Font of Magic. For mana rocks, there's Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Sky Diamond, Azorius Signet, Mind Stone, Commander's Sphere, and Felwar Stone. Finally, Wayfarer's Bauble and Solemn Simulacrum to fetch extra lands. Speaking of lands, we've got Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Glacial Fortress, Prairie Stream, Temple of Enlightenment, Azorius Chancery, Port Town, Nimbus Maze, Irrigated Farmland, Tranquil Cove, Skyshroud Expanse, Glacial Floodplain, Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse for mana fixing, Myriad Landscape for additional ramp, 7 plains, and 15 islands. So let's see how our deck compares to our checklist. 50 mana sources, split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, right on track. 16 pieces of card advantage, a little heavy, but that's to be expected in a deck like this. 11 pieces of interaction, 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, no sudden I win cards, but we have an Oath of Teferia and enough scry spells we can basically win the game. So our deck checks all the boxes and comes in at just shy of $100. Our deck is silly, not oppressive, and a fun deck to bring to your local game store. If you wind up building this deck, please let me know what changes you made as well as how much fun you had building it. The deck requires a bit of luck to pull off, but when it works, it's a thing of beauty. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content, or you can click here for more deck tech videos. I've also started a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com or click the link in the description below. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.